Hi, my name is Wajid. The hybrid rubric, a combination of analytical and holistic rubrics with score distribution of various steps of student performance. Here is shown a structure for rubric from abit.org with the scales, dimensions, and descriptors of a typical communication skills rubric. An example of an holistic rubric for teamwork showing all dimensions applied collectively for scoring by raters. An analytical rubric for teamwork showing all dimensions applied individually for scoring by raters. An actual workshop example with Faculty of Engineering, Islamic University Civil, Electrical and Mechanical Engineering Program faculty. Let's start with the civil engineering example. Program coordinator and EBIT coordinators. Let's extract course outcomes and PI's information from our eval tools course portfolio. Structure analysis. Civil engineering 312 structure analysis. Let's look into which course outcome to select here. Explain the various classical methods for the analysis of indeterminate and determinate structures. Let's go into the assignment list and look into EBIT PI 59 using different methods for the analysis of indeterminate structures. And now let's access a midterm 1 question 1 to look into what student activity is actually expected from faculty for these assessments. We have explanations of methods, we have formulation and diagrammatic sketches for applying the selected methods. The design down principle from EBIT SOs and problem solving to course outcomes and then performance indicators. Course outcome explain various classical methods used to analyze given different determinate and indeterminate structures. So given could be added here and the course outcome could be improved. The same thing for PI, we could add explain and use different methods for analysis of given indeterminate structure. These are the improvements to the current course outcomes and performance indicators. For the highest expectation, list all sequential steps required by the student performing any learning activity with the highest level of skills. Let's write down all the sequential steps for the requirement of highest expectations for the rubric. This will take several iterations. The steps are we'll have to determine or select given methods. We'll have to formulate the given methods and apply the methods by freehand label sketches. Let's take a look again at the activity from the assessment. We see explanations, formulation, and freehand sketches. This is what we expect from the student's performance. We shall continue with these iterations to improve language of the required activity with highest expectations until we finally arrive at the desired steps that students actually take to reflect their highest performances. A critical thing to note: in order to achieve highest expectation, all listed steps and skills levels should be completed by the students. These skills and steps should not be optional. Adding indeterminate structural components, and also changing the language for formulate mathematical solutions for given methods. The faculty suggested to put derive, but then it was decided not to use this complex activity and come back to formulate, since that was not expected of the students in this assessment. Now these are ready for copy down into the rubric. John Estelle's EAMU scales are implemented into the hybrid rubric. Excellent, adequate, minimal, and satisfactory. Now let us set up the scales of this rubric as per John Estelle's EAMU categories. Excellent, 90 to 100%. Adequate, 75 to 90%. Minimal, 60 to 75%. And unsatisfactory, 0 to 60%. Let's copy down the sequential steps into the excellent category. And let's further improve the language for the highest expectations. The first step is explain applicable methods. Here, all methods were discussed, like slope deflection, moment distribution, and force deformation methods. There are several methods available for the analysis of indeterminate structures, but the civil engineering faculty decided to test students' conceptual understanding of just these three methods. So for highest expectation, explain all applicable methods, the three methods under discussion, and formulate mathematical solution accurately for these three methods. And the third step is to apply the selected method by properly labeled freehand sketches. So these are the three steps which have been decided by the Faculty of Civil Engineering as students' performance for highest expectations. This selective approach facilitates systematic and manageable curriculum delivery and focused teaching and learning strategies, highly beneficial for both the faculty and students. The adequate category. Let's revisit student activity. The faculty decides the first step should be explain all given methods accurately. The second should be formulation of the mathematical solution for at least two of the given methods. And the third step should be apply the suggested method by properly labeled freehand sketches. Now, majority of the labels should thoroughly indicate most parameters of the applied formulae. So the difference in the adequate and excellent categories is formulation of just two methods and applying the given method with freehand label sketches, with majority of labels targeting most of the parameters in the formulae. Now let's take a look at the minimal category. The first step is explain any one of the applicable methods. The second step of student learning activity would be formulate at least one of the given methods mathematical solution accurately. And the third would be apply the suggested method by properly labeled freehand sketches. Now some of the labels should indicate the parameters in the applied formulae. Now this is the difference between the minimal and adequate levels. Formulate just one method, explain just one method, and just some of the parameters are explained by some of the labels. The unsatisfactory category. Unable to explain even one of the applicable methods. Unable to formulate even one of the given methods. unable to apply the suggested method by properly labeled freehand sketches and thoroughly indicating parameters. The difference between the highest expectation and the unsatisfactory categories is the inability to perform any of the given steps, whereas in the highest expectation it is mandatory to perform all given steps. The faculty unanimously agree on the percentage of scoring for each of the steps. The first step on explanation, 30%. The second step on formulation of the given method, 30%, and 40% for applying the suggested method by the freehand sketches, indicating all parameters in the formulae. The hybrid rubric and the language contained herein targets, that is, 4 power principles of OBE: clarity of focus, highest expectations, design down, and expanded opportunity. Clarity of focus, clear language, action verbs explained in sequential steps, expected student work is detailed. For highest expectation, highest skills levels are outlined. All steps are sequential and all steps are mandatory in the highest expectation category. For design down, we start with ABET SOs, then we go to course outcomes, and then performance indicators, then rubrics, then teaching and learning strategies, assessments, and then faculty and student feedback, followed by CQI activity for improvement. For expanded opportunity, there is clarity of students' expectations, there is clarity for student feedback, there is improved opportunity for faculty-student dialogue, and there are set standards for qualification of expanded opportunity. The language and scoring of rubrics facilitates highest precision, which is validity, highest levels of intra-rater reliability, scientific construct alignment for outcomes, PIs, rubrics, teaching and learning strategies, assessments, and feedback to faculty or students with CQI for improvement.